Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Yo, wake up before I touch you, fatties.
Guys. Last thing I remembered was tripping and falling off my sky block. Maybe that's why I'm here. Anyways, it didn't really matter. I looked around and assessed my surroundings, and not even 5 seconds in, I died to a cactus.
Realize what I'm actually about to get into?
Then came back and baited out the cactus this time. Ha! Idiot! After I finally got past the cactuses, I started mining my first tree.
And watched it explode on me.
If you haven't already noticed, everything in this world has a feature that tries to make it a little more impossible. Like crafting tables. Uh-oh. I mined some stone, made some new tools, then looked around for a bit, and just ended up finding out the hard way that skeletons shoot 10-foot missiles at you. Like, we're actually just cheating, man. I went back and died to a cactus again, and ran back to get my stuff like I was weaving through the fired missiles from an enemy battlefield. Just gotta make this jump! Ow. Dying, and after I eventually got my stuff back, I came across a desert village where I actually spotted a creeper nearby.
And for some dumb reason, I apparently thought I could take it.
Hello.
I'm already fed up with this game, man. In any case, I came back, and after nearly surviving another domain expansion, I stole the wheat from the village and made sure to set my spawn here. But sadly, with enough time, I found out what the villagers do.
I'll put you out of your misery.
Like, bro, these guys don't take knockback. I got some more wheat, tried to make some bread, and got sliced in half on my crafting table. And subsequently, with enough time, I came across what the bed's gimmick is. Then sliced open the iron golem and murdered his newly born kids. But sooner or later though, I did end up discovering. Before creating this world, I did add a structure mod. So you're gonna notice all of these structures are a little updated. Now, there was really no easy method to get past the cactuses standing in my path. So I decided to LeBron jump over them. But I'm not my glorious king. I then respawned and forgot about the beds. Weaved as hard as I could to get past all the villagers and got clipped by a cactus. Died twice trying to recover my stuff and realized I could just stand at the end of my range and break it. Got some iron, explored a little further, and spotted some diamonds in the corner of the cave. So I dug into the wall, started smelting some iron, and realized I left the stove on for too long. When I respawned though, I checked chat to see, to my surprise, grave has been broken. Soon after, I proceeded to start from scratch again when I clipped the cactus, so I just decided to off myself. Got some wood and lost to a nuclear explosion. I want to live! Then, a villager decided to watch me sleep holding a chainsaw directly over my head. Aha! Later, I got clipped by some more cactuses and blown to pieces again. But eventually, I crafted some new tools, made some bread, and headed back to the mine shaft. There were some skeletons and creepers waiting at the bottom for me, but they were honestly no big deal. And apparently, I thought I was baller enough to take a skeleton head on, but this is the type of greed the Bible talks about. I died to some creepers and then got killed by a cactus. Not once, but twice. Until I realized I could just use my common sense again. Next, I dug out a long tunnel to go ahead and smelt iron in. That way, I wouldn't get charcoaled by my furnace. And it kind of worked. Finally made an iron pickaxe and was just ready to ultimately mine the diamonds I found earlier.
But I genuinely didn't know what I should have expected from this world at this point.
Solar flare!
Respawned back at the village to walk into a double domain expansion that actually tanked my FPS. Brody, this is actually just stupid, man. I tried to mine the diamonds again to no avail. Blown up. Iron Golem, just give me a hug, please. Soon after, I kind of just realized how powerful shields are in this mod. Like, I'm actually just blocking everything. Anyways, found out the hard way that zombies spawn in children upon death, then died because I didn't want to get put on a watch list. Blew up.
So nice it happened twice.
Daddy!
dying. Like, bro, give me a break. Finally got my stuff back and baited out the creeper to do this insane play, dodging all of the explosions. Like, holy, someone turned that into an edit with funk music playing in the background. AI girlfriend, tell me how hot and sexy that play was.
Shut the hell up, you fat chud.
Went on to stab some kids and came up with a strat to mine the diamonds that actually utilized the beds, which only requires me to mine a little divot under the diamonds. And I mean, it kinda worked. It was pretty nice having a few diamonds on hand now, but I should really stop thinking I'm him. Got some more diamonds, made my way out of the mine shaft, stole a few more hay bales, and actually came up with a method to prevent myself from dying to the heat-seeking missiles. Made some more tools and spotted a ruined portal in the distance, so I decided to head towards it, but not before getting clipped by a cactus. It was actually just a breath of fresh air to go to a structure that was actually out in the open for once. I looked around and found out lava source blocks spawn entire tidal waves that eat anything in its path. Like, I somehow thought the features couldn't get worse. I got some dirt, bridged over to get my stuff back, and the gold block I was trying to mine got a little excited when it saw me. Then I realized I'm playing this game my way, because I'm genuinely fed up dealing with this bullcrap, man. I thought I was being semi-smart using the water on all the lava, but again, I am legit always proven wrong. I just decided to mine the obsidian I needed and move on, but found out it explodes when broken. So I had to come up with new ways to mine the obsidian. And see ya! Soon I figured out I could just block the explosion with my shield and pressed on to get some more obsidian when the lava just caught an attitude and started really making me fight for my life. Actually, who mods this stuff into the game, man? I then went back to get my stuff and thankfully got it without really any problem. But I was still missing 3 obsidian, so I just had to risk it. In any case, I moved on to really flooding the entire lake, but still getting swallowed up. Nonetheless, I did get my stuff back relatively quickly, but my water source block ended up spawning a shark from out of nowhere. I pushed my way through all of the magma while grabbing my stuff at the same time, and found out the hard way that cows are just not chill mobs anymore. In spite of that, I went back to mine some more obsidian and got eaten in one bite. It honestly started to feel like all these deaths were starting to add up and I was just digging myself a deeper grave. With every murder, I was just pushing my grave farther and farther into the pool of lava. So, I gathered some dirt and bridged over the lava until I was right above where my grave was. And you know what happened? I died. Why am I putting up with the bullcrap this game throws at me? Why do I subject myself to suffer time after time? Why were features like this modded into a game made for children? Why do girls run away from me when I ask for their phone number? Why? Why on earth can't I just get good? Nah! Screw that junk! Mojang is gonna have to rip the diamonds out of my sweaty fingers if for some strange reason they think I'm giving up that easy. Dying. I eat that junk for breakfast. It got to a point where I could finally grab my stuff from my bridge, but I still didn't have my diamond pickaxe. I hopped off the bridge in search of my pickaxe and found it with just a few hearts to spare, but quickly got jumped by the shark again. Listen, I am the walking definition of insanity. I will try again and again and again, and I will expect a different result each time. Whether or not that means getting sandwiched between sharks and lava. I will win at any cost. I know it looks here like I'm foolishly throwing away my life over and over, but what I was really trying to accomplish was to gather my things and push my graveyard 1 elevation level higher, which in turn gave me the opportunity to barely reach my grave all the way from the bridge. I then bridged over the last of the lava and left because I never want to come back here again. After grabbing the last 2 pieces of obsidian I needed, I was really just free to explore again. It came to my attention that cows weren't the only hostile mobs here, but chickens as well as sheep were also nuclear weapons. Spirit bombs! But despite this, I did not learn my lesson from what happened at the ruined portal. I pressed on, got my stuff back, and found a dog who I tamed and named Mistake because I never actually liked him. However, I did spot a jungle temple in the distance with a spider cave nearby. So, I set my spawn in between both of them just in case, and learned that chests up a blick in your face when open. Like, you gotta be clinically insane to think this was a good idea. Soon after, I made my way inside the temple and actually regretted it 5 seconds in because I found absolutely nothing besides the skeleton head that was just sitting on the floor. Proceedingly, I moved on to the spider cave where I saw their string and wool and kept on exploring further and further, making sure not to step foot in the water as little as possible, and bridging all the way over to a semi-flattish area that I wanted to make my base off of. Slowly but surely, I understood that double chests actually prevent the dudes that shoot you from spawning, which was actually pretty nice. I got some wood to start smelting all of the raw iron I was hoarding from the mine shaft I went to, and stood a little too close to the stove. And then really put that blue collar mentality to work to get this entire area flattened out.
Sit.
Following this, I found out that sugarcane when broken tries to stab you, thus following me to deforest an entire environment just to get more wood for my base. And I also learned that pigs are invincible and cause earthquakes on the ground. I was not ready to take any risks with the zombies, but somehow slipped off my 1x2 dirt pillar and got jumped by all the zombies' kids. I then started coming up with how I was ultimately going to map out what I was going to create. I was kind of going for this medieval deep slate castle-like vibe for my house, and honestly, I think the entrance really came into fruition. And then just built out the frame to something I was actually happy with. I don't usually get this opportunity to build with this much deep slate easily, so I wanted to make this base huge. Eventually, I did run out of deep slate, so I had to go down to the deeper levels to bed mine some more. I mined down until I got caught up in some water, but I just wasn't fast enough to block it up. I soon advanced onward to stab some more kids and forget that fall damage is a thing. I then got my stuff back and proceeded to kill all the horde of kids that was in my way. Went on to smelt my iron, but again left the stove on too high. And respawned to the chat message that my grave was broken once again, which was awesome, dude. So I made some new tools and made my way down to the deeper levels of the caves, and not even 5 seconds in, got a gun up in my face. Did some bed mining to get some diamonds, dug way further until I was at a spot I was comfortable with, started up the process again, and clipped the literal pixel of deep slate in front of the water. In any case though, I started really putting in that work to get as much deep slate as possible, while also getting some diamonds as a bonus. I was getting ready to leave when I got circumcised by a shark. I then made some iron armor to finally protect myself, but immediately learned when equipped gives you slowness 3? Like, are we for real? So I really had no choice but to take it all off because I was not playing the entire game like this. Nonetheless, I crafted an empty canteen, which was part of the temperature mod that allowed me to finally quench my thirst bar, in turn letting me actually heal again. I then clocked back into my 9 to 5, making sure my tower looked the best I could make it. I built up the main walls of the castle nice and high, while also indenting them with stairs so these could act as the core bells of the castle. Not stopping there, using blocks, slabs, and pillars to ultimately become the battlements. Consequently, manufactured the upper baileys higher than the main build, using stairs as indents so they would just stand out a lot more. Died to some creepers that got a little too excited when they saw my base, augmented not only the floors with slabs, but as well as the ceilings just to save up on wood, which I made use of for the other platforms which I would store all of my stuff. However, waltzed back into my house to have an Enderman use his Conqueror's hockey on me to keep me in one place.
Like, bro, I swear we're just cheating at this point.
Placed down some water on the first floor with an ending tube on the second, that way I could get down easily. Followed by finishing off my castle by moving all of my chests to one of the platforms. Honestly, I'm really proud of how the entire build turned out in the end. Afterward, I wanted to start moving on with going to the Nether. So, I lit my portal and got attacked by souls coming out of endgame portals right in the obsidian.
Like, I swear the ideas get more insane the more I progress in this world.
After dying again, I realized I could hold a shield directly upwards to block all the dudes attacking me, and it surprisingly worked. I mean, kinda, because all the dudes on the other side of the portal swung me anyways. At this point in time, I had watched McMakistien's video, who was the creator of this mod, which had shown me that you can use blocks to cover up the obsidian, which stops the little souls from spawning. So, I took that advice to heart and went through the portal without a single scratch on me when getting my stuff. Well, I mean, again, besides the souls on the other side, obviously. I went on to cover up the obsidian on the nether side, but completely overlooked the fact that my temperature was rising in the nether. Because when I finished the portal, I'd gained the heat effect and started continuously taking damage. I couldn't even escape through the portal either, because I couldn't cool down. But don't worry, it's okay, because the piglin came and jumped me. In any case, I shaved off the leaves off an entire tree and made some leaf armor to cool me off, which was supported by the temperature mod. Oh yeah, the girls are gonna love this fit. Went back to the nether and took on some of the piglins, but not even 5 seconds in, I realized I was still eating rotten flesh. So I immediately went back to the portal to make a wheat farm. I came back into my base to put away the little gold I had retained from the nether and forgot how to sprint. Harvested more of my land to fill in the creeper holes and the terrain next to the water. Next, tilling all the ground and planting seeds, which just left me with waiting for my crops to grow. Wow, I'm a degenerate. Presently, harvested my crops and elongated my farm to put the stacks of seeds I had gained to use. Made some bread, and for real this time, went back to my portal to explore. I found little issue with the mobs presented to me in the nether, besides the gas that just locked onto me.
You in my casa now, boy.
I explored deep into the nether and spotted some nether brick, which in turn had a spawner inside. I had died before even getting to the blazes, but prior to this death, I had gained a chat message saying blazes have gotten an upgrade, which is not going to be fun to find out. I went back and got my stuff, but something I want to preface real quick is that this isn't actually a blaze spawner, but an entity structure part of the structure mod that actually spawns in different types of mobs from the nether. I eventually made my way inside and learned very quickly that the blazes cause nearby explosions because the ideas couldn't somehow get worse. Oh yeah, hell no, I'm out of here.
Where are you going?
I then pressed on to get my stuff back, but got swallowed by lava, and eventually getting it back to immediately mine around the structure. But soon finding out the hard way that blazes caused the explosions through walls as well, which in turn left me with little wiggle room to work with and ultimately exploding. Then I manned up and showed them who the real man was around here, but I guess that just wasn't me. It took me a second to realize that I'm not actually fireproof, so I built over the mess of lava under me and got shot off my bridge to immediately get devoured. Finally got my stuff back and started widening out the outside of the structure just to get knocked off. Sometimes I wonder why I'm still playing this game. Bridged over, nearly dodged the lava wave, and learned that soul sand paralyzes you when stepped on. Like, are we for real? I then sat on my pause menu thinking about what I should do and came to the conclusion my stuff isn't worth it. So I went on another bed mining expedition when I came all the way to the bottom of the world and realized I forgot my beds, which caused me to go all the way back up where a creeper was waiting for me to poke my head out.
Enjoy oblivion!
I started bed mining and getting some more diamonds, but on one of the bounces up, all the particles from the deep slate had obscured my view. Got an abundance of diamonds, made some new tools and leaf armor, and headed back into the nether. Yo, this junk about to be easy! Whoa, 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 alright, relax.
There he is, big bro. Get him! Dude, that was awesome. You were on fire. You know what else is on fire? Crusty Guy's PC. Whoa!
In any case, as I came back, I fell down in a crevice and stumbled upon another entity structure that housed striders this time. So, I harvested the string off their bodies because this was going to be useful for wool later. And my next strat for taking down the blazes involved making another tunnel around the structure. But I honestly don't know what I had in mind when doing this.
I don't understand. Why did they create explosions through walls?
Made the tunnel a little wider, died for it. Alright, you guys think you're so tough. Come fight me one-on-one. I went to go and craft a new bow in the tunnel and accidentally unlocked the crafting table and completely misjudged the fact that it comes with saw blades attached. I then decided to have the blazes come to me instead of me going to them, but that didn't work out so well.
Yes, Rico. Kaboom.
Dying, and having a change of mind to leave for the moment and switch up tactics to use beds instead. But let's just say It was at this point in time when I just gave up on the tunneling strats and decided to just gun them down with a bow. But the problem was these dudes were not moving 2 feet away from the spawner. So if I shot them, the other ones would just absolutely nuke me. In spite of that, some of them actually did start shuffling towards the hill, which put them in the perfect range for my bow and allowed me to collect the rods. They were still just not making this easy. Dying! All these deaths were really starting to get to me, so I took a break and harvested some more wheat and stabbed a lot more kids for iron. And after getting sidetracked in the Nether for a bit, I made my way up to go back to the portal and learned that glowstone just melts you when in range with a giant laser beam. Oh, this is unfair. Either way, I punched back into my job of cleaning up the rods from these blazes, but they were not cooperating and staying right by the edge of the cliff. Like, look at this. How am I supposed to collect blaze rods when they're just hovering right over the lava? Oh my gosh, man. Please work with me. Dying! Like, no plan I formulate works! Why can't I just win? Bro, who are you? This is a single player world.
Dude, don't you remember me? Let me jog your memory. I killed Travis.
What? No.
At this point in time, Crusty Guy was shaken to his absolute core. For the first time in his life, he had experienced true fear.
Lose. I am the Reaper. We'll strip you of everything you love, Crusty Guy.
I understand it now. The ideas we create were meant to be shared with others. That is by definition what a content creator is. We weren't put on a platform to just shoot out content slop, but instead we are here to innovate day in and day out. Those are not only the challenges everyone else faces, but it's also the trials I need to overcome as well. And that's how I figured out how to defeat the blazes once and for all. You see, the blazes aren't just randomly creating explosions. Instead, it's the rotating fiery ring around them that when comes in contact with me, actually igniting the eruption. So, here's what I figured out. If I just powered through to fight the blaze, my hurt box will be inside the rotating fiery hitbox. Thus, in conclusion, making it so that neither hitbox comes into contact with each other. Do you understand where I'm getting at now? Even with everything stacked against me, I can win this! Again! After going through multiple back and forth cycles with these blazes, I finally had more than enough rods. So now I was free to explore the Nether a lot more while grabbing gold along the way in hopes of finding a bastion to trade with piglins. I traversed the basalt deltas as best I could, narrowly dodging all the lava coming my way, but still the tidal waves found a way to get the upper hand on me. Dying. It just feels like the lava is genuinely impossible to dodge this biome because it's everywhere. Even when I got close to getting my stuff, it completely crossed my mind that glowstone was still a thing in this game. Dying. Forgot forgot about the glowstone again.
What do I do?
And then ultimately acquiring my stuff. Next, I moved on to bridge over the rest of the main biome to still have a little luck in finding a bastion to trade with piglins. I did find a crimson tree that exploded and broke my FPS to immediately get swallowed up by the lava. Brody, this game is getting ridiculous. Forgot about the glowstone again, and after getting my stuff back, I just kind of gave up on looking for a bastion and started trading with the piglins I could find nearby. I mean, it was going well up until I swung at a magma cube and hit a zombie pigman in the process. Listen, I thought I was safe, but I completely misjudged the amount of range these guys have. I started chopping them up one by one, but yo, those kids are fast, man. Then dug out a little 2x1 hole just to get entity cramped by 3 of them, and actually started getting a few pearls from all the bartering I was doing. So I cleaned the nether dry of all its gold because I needed to trade for a lot more pearls. Made it all into bars, and you tell me why right now, how come I gave these guys almost a stack of bars and the amount of pearls they gave me was 0! Nah, just end my life, man. In any case, I mined some more gold and traded with some nearby piglins and got a lot luckier with the pearls. So, I continued on this hot streak by climbing up the mountain and getting suffocated. Then walked along this narrow edge where I slipped and broke my legs, but I just quickly got back my stuff and traded with the last of the piglins when I realized I was actually up to a stack and a half of pearls now. So I just left and started preparing for the end. Even though we were now in midwinter because of the seasons mod, I was prepared to farm some sugarcane. I began by planting some across my lake, making an enchantment table, and forgot that sugarcane fights back. And this wasn't the first time I happened to make this mistake. So, I just had to push through all of the pain. I finally crafted some books along with some bookshelves because I wanted to enchant a really good bow. But first I needed some more levels, so I headed back to the nether and took several chunks of quartz because I'm too lazy to make a mob spawner. My first bow was okay, but that wasn't even the problem. When I was enchanting, I ended up spawning in a flying book that started homing in on me. I thought this wouldn't be too hard to fight, but then another book came out of nowhere just to jump me. Mined some more quartz, enchanted a decent bow, and got attacked before I even made it out the door this time. Mined even more quartz and finally got a power 4 bow. But as always, these books gotta prowl on me like they're predators, man. But soon found out that the books actually have hitboxes, so I was actually able to take them out. I crafted an anvil, combined my bows together, and realized I was fully prepared to go and fight the dragon. I was now ready to finally end this game. Despite the fact that I was now ready to start tracking down the stronghold, I quickly understood it wasn't going to be that easy.
Fire in the...
Even though the eyes were basically heat-seeking dragons, the first direction they go in before locking onto you points in the route of where the stronghold actually is. So, I trekked on following this path until it led me to a giant body of water, thus leading me to use my bow to cross over, where I got shocked and devoured almost immediately. Came back to bridge over, got my stuff back, and kept pressing on to find the stronghold, tearing apart anything in my path. Now, ignore my frame rate, but my eye did finally turn around, so I knew I was close. I mined down until I ultimately hit my beginning of my end. This was it. This was the culmination of everything I've worked towards in this world. This structure was the gates to my final trial that I would have to overcome. I have come farther than I even thought I would. I know I've got this. But I still wasn't perfect, obviously. I pushed back with pure willpower and trickled down the tunnel I had so I could come back and grab all of my stuff just before setting my spawn in the structure.
Crusty Guy, did you think it would be so easy? You make these videos just gassing yourself up the entire time. You waltz around in your worlds acting like you are the guy. You have swindled your entire fanbase into thinking you're some sort of genius when in reality, you're not. Every time you hit the record button, it's like you have to prove to yourself that you are something. I've seen you put on that facade day in and day out and show no results. Try and try as you may, but you'll go nowhere in this little lifespan that you have left. Did you hear that, Crusty Guy? Do you understand what I'm putting down? You are nothing! Grab your stuff and pack it up, bro. You will lose. Cookie.
I rushed into the portal room with pure determination flowing throughout my entire body. I made sure that all of my stuff was decently far above the lava. That way, I wouldn't have to worry about tidal waves from respawning. I will win. As I arrived in the end, I had already noticed a few things were off. For one, the end gateway to the outer end islands was already open, as well as protective shields on all of the crystals. Either way, I didn't let that stop me. I bridged over, made landfall on the end stone, and just spotted the dragon sleeping directly in the center of the island. Also, it was at this point in time where I was given a book that had overcome with all the strengths and weaknesses of the dragon, and how the fight should play out. Either way, I was ready to start the battle. But the game had initiated a little bit of a tutorial sequence where it was going to show me how I should be fighting the dragon. It presented to me that normal attacks had little effect on the dragon, and what you should do is shoot the crystal off of the dragon's tail, pick it up, and place it down on the ground in front of the dragon. That way, the dragon will counterattack and paralyze itself so that I can start dealing damage to it. But I should have realized this was not gonna be that easy. I can tell you right now with great certainty, this dude was not going to be playing around in this fight. The fight had just begun and he was already throwing every custom attack that the mod developer had coded into his AI. After a while, I watched him lock on to one of the towers and start healing. Honestly, I didn't really know what I was meant to do and paid the price for it. The dragon electrocuted my power 4 bow. Like, bro, come on, man. Anyways, I wasn't giving up. I saw him perch down and got ready to slit his throat. I've got this. I came back to build a dirt staircase, grab my stuff, and explode not even 5 seconds later. This was honestly one of the weirdest fights I've ever experienced playing Minecraft, man. Not only that, but I completely forgot about the dragon's ability to break weapons and paid the price for it once again. Oh my gosh, this game sucks! I made a new bow, a sword, got my stuff back, and was ready to end this dragon's entire bloodline.
Gotcha.
I started reading the book for anything I could use against the dragon, but quick tip, don't do that mid-fight. Bro, can we at least let me get my stuff back? Anyways, I learned that when the dragon gets ready to electrocute you, which is indicated by the critical marker, you have to make sure that your hotbar slot is empty. That way, you won't lose an item when shot. Even with this information, it couldn't help my gameplay because I still missed a 10-foot drop bucket clutch. And I guess I wasn't locked in, so I ended up losing my sword again. So, dying, making a new sword, and getting ready to start bow spamming the dragon's crystal. And surprisingly, it actually worked. But I just wasn't fast enough to escape the dragon's hot morning breath.
Here's a present for you!
I also started understanding that the dragon had different indications for attacks, like how here I thought he was going for the ground slam, when in reality he was readying up the fire breath. And I also learned that any crystals on the ground act as a catalyst to incoming lightning strikes fired by the dragon. It's just nice to take a moment and pause to understand the inner workings of a boss.
Bon voyage!
Sometimes I can actually make a decent excuse for my gameplay by not having a fast enough reaction time to the dragon sending lightning my way. And sometimes I just can't because of my lack of common sense. Regardless, I shot up this dude's crystal while blocking his fire breath not a moment later, and then bided my time to put down the crystal just to watch him paralyze himself so I could start putting Beltaculo on this dude. When the dragon got back up to heal, I didn't understand at that moment that I wasn't supposed to shoot the dragon still. But I was actually supposed to break the crystal when the force field was down. I understand it now.
Too slow!
I made a new bow, shot up the crystal, and placed it on the ground right in front of the dragon, but you gotta be so precise with this jump, man. And please, for a second, can we talk about the way the dragon's AI was moving in this clip?
Where do you think you're going? Oh no!
Like, bro, come on, man. How hard is it to hit the crystal? But when the dragon eventually paralyzed himself and gave me the opportunity to start dealing damage, I feel like I was actually starting to understand how this fight has to play out, because when the shield and the crystal dropped, I immediately blew it up. Shot another crystal off this dragon, broke it 5 seconds later because of this dude's lightning, came back to shoot it again, but didn't do enough damage, and died. Sliced the crystal off him, but didn't put it in the right spot and paid for it. Learned from my mistakes, started slitting its throat, and tried to use the newly formed jump pads to get to the crystal as soon as I could, but just wasn't fast enough. Like, even when I think I understand, more bullcrap just comes my way.
Little bug.
Oh, don't tackle me. Dying, stole the dragon's tail again, and attempted to shoot the crystal, but got my bow shocked for like the 3rd time this fight. Nonetheless, I didn't let that stop me, and I locked in to make the dragon paralyze itself so I could start dealing damage again. But it sucked, because since I didn't have a bow, I just let the dragon heal itself for free. Then the dragon kicked me while I was already down and put me in the dirt.
Fall!
Afterwards, I made a bow and probably did the worst play I've ever made in Minecraft. As I came back, I was farming the crystals off this dude, already having 3 in hand, and was locked in on lighting up these towers with my bow. But the dragon didn't like how it was moving and made me eat rocks. I'm not even gonna lie, but the dragon's counterattack physics are so janky. Like, look at this. 1 crystal, miss. 2nd crystal, miss. 3rd crystal, miss. Like, are we for real? It wasn't until the 4th crystal where I finally knocked him down to start critting him out again. Even as I knew the shield on the crystal was gonna drop, I did not waste my shots. Anyways, paralyzed and beat him to death again, then died. It's like the dragon knew I was getting good, so he decided to make me pound sand.
I'll bury you!
Paralyze, slit his throat, shoot the crystal, and then repeat until I finally had him at about half health. But yet again, when someone gets too OP in a game, you just gotta nerf them.
I'm coming!
In spite of that, I was learning new strats, like changing my 9th hotbar key. That way, when the dragon sent out the lightning, I would be ready for it every single time. It feels like in this boss fight, you have to be nothing short of perfect. Like, even though I paralyzed the dragon and crit him out, I missed my shots on the crystal, allowing the dragon to heal and rekindle another nearby crystal. So, hitting these shots in the towers were actually crucial to my run. In other words, I genuinely have to lock in. And after adapting that mindset, not even 10 seconds later, I got my bow electrocuted again for like the 5th time over the course of this entire boss fight. I'm just gonna let the dragon kill me. Dying, came back, missed my shots on the dragon, and paid for it with another bow down the drain. Why does the dragon have so many abilities?
Big bang attack!
Again, the dragon needed to prove he was better and make me eat dirt again.
Ay caramba!
Paralyzed, stabbed him a bunch, and was hard focused on making sure every single one of these crystals were gone. Sure, I died some more, but that doesn't matter. I did die thrice more, but I was not showing any signs of slowing down.
Ha! Like taking candy from a baby.
Rinsed and repeated the process for a while until I realized my temperature started freezing. Like, I don't even understand why now of all times I start freezing.
Bye-bye!
Dying. I really just don't get why at a pivotal time like this in the fight did the game just start making me freeze my nards off. Either way, I made some wool armor, also from the temperature mod, out of what I was saving for beds to bomb the dragon. If this doesn't work, I genuinely don't know what will. I came back to the end to fight as hard as I could, but I just wasn't on my A game and kept on letting the dragon heal and respawn new crystals. I don't know what I can do. I feel like I've tried everything. I just can't win.
Hey, it's been a while.
Travis? Dude, no way! Oh, I just have so many questions. Like, I can't believe you're here. Like, why are you here? What happened to the tick rate? What does the Reaper really want? Why haven't I uploaded in almost 3 months? Why do pretty girls scare me? Why can't the ideas just become the things I want them to?
Stop. First answer my question. I have been dead for a while now, and in my absence, I've seen the YouTube landscape develop drastically. I've seen players master and perfect their skills in PvP. I've seen players create the most insane traps and machines using redstone. I've seen builders manufacture the most complex structures that scrape the sky. So my question to you is, what makes you so special?
Me, special. Me, special. Me, special. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But the difference is, I embrace that opportunity better than anyone else I know can. In my videos, I give it my all and make sure that when people sit down to watch anything I put out, they are getting their time's worth. That is what makes me special.
That is the correct answer. Now go, win, let the whole world know your name.
I'll never forget you, Travis!
Well, that was nice. I'm gonna go play Jenny Bond now.
Guys, I'm gonna share a verse with you real quick. In Romans 5:3-4, it says, "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that the sufferings produce perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." Listen, trials and challenges we face in our life have a purpose. They were set for you to grow, mature, and fulfill the path you were set on. I'm not even talking about some impossible Minecraft mod right now, guys. You could be clocking in another 9 to 5 at your job that you hate, or could be stressing out about all the work you have to complete for your final exams. You could be questioning to yourself, why was I given these hardships? Why am I suffering so much? Genuinely, I tell you right now, rejoice. Sure, you might stumble and fall, but that's the amazing part. You're gonna get back up and endure through all of it. Rejoice in the trials you are given, because you're gonna grow and mature into an amazing person. Rejoice in what you're suffering through right now, because you're gonna come back stronger than ever next day. Rejoice in every single one of your afflictions, no matter what they may be, because understand this, you are more important than you will ever know. So I tell you, wholeheartedly, rejoice. I'm not even joking when I say these challenges get more ridiculous video after video. For those of you already typing in the comments,
This modded boss has 2 more phases and respawns the crystals on each phase. Why didn't you fight them?
I don't care, I'm not doing it. I still don't know the Reaper's end goal, but that is my challenge that I have to overcome. I will win at the end of the day. I am the original Crusty Guy. Holy crap, mistake! Shut up!
I am the Reaper.